Close your eyes. Feel your breath move like a gentle tide in and out of your body. In this quiet place, remember, you are part of a grand, patient cycle, carbon moving through wind, water, soil, and life itself. Tonight, let us wander slowly through this story, finding calm in knowing that everything you give returns, that every breath is shared, and that even the smallest act of being is woven into Earth's timeless balance. You lie in the quiet, a soft weight pressing beneath your body, not heavy, but certain. You breathe in, cool air glides into your lungs. You breathe out, warmth leaves you gently, carrying something invisible, yet ancient, carbon, a whisper from your body to the world. Each breath is a note in a song far older than memory. You may not see it, but with every exhale, carbon dioxide rises from your mouth, curling into the air. That carbon, so small, so silent, will not vanish. It will travel. It will mingle. It will matter. Imagine your breath rising slowly, out the window, into the night, past branches, past rooftops, lifted by a breeze. It's carbon, once part of your food, your blood, your life. It now joins a soft river of invisible particles flowing across the sky. That same carbon may find its way into a pine needle, or fall into the ocean and sink, or join with another breath from a cat, a bear, a grandmother, a tree. You don't own this breath. You're only borrowing it for a moment. You're part of the world's long, slow exhale, and the earth is always breathing. Close your eyes. Feel your chest rise and fall. This gentle movement connects you to everything. Carbon is the language of life. It builds leaves and limbs, roots and rivers. It makes up the muscles of whales, the bark of redwoods, the air you breathe out now. Long ago, your carbon may have lived in a fern beneath a dinosaur's footstep. It may have swirled through a trilobite shell, or pulsed in the sap of an ancient tree. It may have once been part of fire, of stone, of the sky itself. This is the great secret of carbon. It never dies. It only moves. It becomes dot, and now it becomes part of this moment, this soft, sleepy breath. You are not apart from the planet. You are made of the same story, the same atoms. You're not just breathing air, you're breathing memory. You are sharing in a rhythm that unites birds, forests, oceans, and volcanoes. When you inhale, oxygen enters to fuel your body's quiet fire. When you exhale, carbon drifts back to sky. This exchange is your offering to the world, not a burden, but a gift. You are part of an agreement older than language. Take only what you need and return it in peace. Let your body sink deeper now. Let your thoughts slow. Let your breath lead, in and out. A gentle wave. You have given your carbon to the night. It will not be lost. Somewhere, a blade of grass waits. Somewhere, a leaf is curling into life. Somewhere, your carbon will become green. You can rest now, knowing that you've done your part. In the hush of the night, your thoughts slow, like leaves settling on quiet water. You breathe again, and carbon drifts from you like a whispered promise to the world. You are not leaving something behind. You are giving it forward. Outside, the wind stirs, visible currents. Take your breath farther than you can see. It joins millions of other breaths, human, animal, plant, melding into one shared atmosphere. A communal ocean of air surrounds you. Imagine that ocean. Picture it, layered in gentle waves, circling the entire globe. Your carbon might rise into high, cold altitudes, swept into the jet stream, moving faster than any creature can run. Or it may linger close to the earth, sinking into cool soil at dawn. There is no rush here. The world has time. Your breath's carbon might wander for years before finding its next home. Perhaps it will settle on a mountain meadow, feeding moss. Perhaps it will swirl above city streets, waiting for a leaf to unfurl in spring. You breathe in, drawing oxygen your body needs. This oxygen once filled ancient lungs, has cycled through countless creatures, forests, and storms. With every inhale, you accept this gift. With every exhale, you offer your own gift back. Feel the fairness in this trade. Feel the calm of its balance. No one hoards breath. No one keeps it forever. Rest deeper now. Your breath slows. Can almost see carbon atoms, tiny, restless, but patient. They don't resent their journey. They don't fear change. We simply move, becoming whatever they need to be next, long before humans built cities or named the elements. This carbon danced from volcanoes to air, from leaves to soil, from creatures to stone. It knows more of the world than you ever will. And tonight, it carries your story with it, folded into the long memory of Earth. Let your body feel this connection. Your heartbeat slows, your breathing eases. In the quiet, you can hear not just your own breath, but the world's. A forest at night, exchanging gases in the dark. The ocean's surface fizzing softly as it accepts carbon dioxide. A single leaf breathing. Millions of lungs rising and falling. You are part of this, not apart from it. Rest with this thought. Your exhalation is a thread in the fabric of life. You will not see where it goes, but you can trust that it will become something beautiful. Sleep comes more easily when you know you are not alone. Imagine the world as one vast pair of lungs, inhaling and exhaling with slow certainty. Forests draw carbon in, weaving it into green. Oceans drink it, holding it in cold, dark depths. Soil cradles it, hidden from sight, but never forgotten. Your breath is not wasted. It becomes possibility. In some distant forest, a sapling waits. Here your carbon will join the air around its tiny leaves, feeding growth you will never see. Somewhere, a field of grass will stretch under the sun, tearing in what you released in the quiet of your room. Feel the wonder in this. You may never meet the tree that uses your carbon, but you are its partner. You have given it something it needs. You have become part of its slow, green heartbeat. Rest in this idea. You do not need to be awake to be generous. Even asleep, your body gives back. Now think of the sea, vast, patient, holding carbon in solution like a lullaby. Your exhaled carbon may drift 4 months before settling onto the water's surface. It may dissolve and sink slowly, joining currents that move through the ocean's cold heart for centuries. Picture tiny organisms, phytoplankton, invisible but countless, feasting on this carbon. They drift in sunlit water, turning your breath into new life. These tiny plants, too small to see, make half of Earth's oxygen. You share this secret bond with them. It is humbling. It is comforting. Your breath travels where you cannot. Eye touches places you'll never stand. Mountain peaks, coral reefs, deep trenches, vast deserts. You are connected to every place that can hold air, and in this great cycle, carbon returns. The tree that grew tall from your carbon will one day fall. Its wood will rot, feeding soil. Microbes will feast, breaking bonds, releasing carbon once more. Or it may burn in a forest fire, sending your atoms back to sky in a glowing exhalation. Nothing is lost. Nothing is wasted. The world remembers, reuses, remakes. Your body knows this too. Your bones hold carbon, your muscles, your blood. When you are gone, your carbon will feed the soil. Flowers may drink you up, opening petals to the sun with your atoms in their stems. It is not morbid. It is belonging. Lie still now. Let your breath slow further, in and out, a calm tide. You have given to the world tonight. It will hold your gift tenderly, passing it along in a chain unbroken for billions of years. Somewhere, life waits for what you have offered. Your body is made of borrowed atoms. Every part of your breath, your skin, your bones, once belonged to something else. A tree, a fish, a fire, a stone. You are not a separate creation. You are a continuation. Carbon is the thread stitching all these stories together. It binds molecules in your cells, just as it once built coral reefs and fueled forest fires. Every heartbeat is a quiet agreement. I accept this life for now. I will pass it on when I'm done. Think of that. You carry responsibility and grace in equal measure, not in effort, but in being. By simply living, you move the story forward. There's comfort in cycles, in knowing that what leaves your lungs is never gone. It is simply changing costume. Carbon plays many roles: gas in the air, sugar in a leaf, fat in a seed, shell in the ocean. It adapts, never stubborn, always moving. You might imagine your carbon slipping into the shell of a mollusk, hardening in cool salt water, or resting inside a berry ripening on a branch, or becoming part of the call of a bird, woven into muscle and song. This is not fantasy. This is science, and it is poetry, too. The same molecules that build stars now build your thoughts. The same carbon, once part of ancient swamps, now forms the air you exhale. So breathe out again, slowly, thoughtfully. Feel the invisible handoff. Your breath is caught by the world and carried forward. Tonight, you don't need to control anything. The world knows what to do with what you give. Let your mind drift now to the great circle, the carbon cycle itself. A path with no real beginning and no end. You are a small loop within it, one that matters. It begins with breath and returns with breath, with fire, with soil, with time. Rest in that understanding. Feel your place in this ancient flow. You are not lost in it. You are part of its shape. As you lie still, the atoms in your body are not still. They are buzzing, exchanging, joining, leaving. The fire in your cells turns oxygen and carbon into energy and movement, quietly, constantly. Each breath is a soft surrender to the cycle. You don't have to hold on. The world catches what you release and uses it with care. Sleep can come more easily when you know your part is done. You have taken, you have given. Okay. The balance holds. Imagine lying on the forest floor, eyes closed, listening to the hush of leaves above you. Okay. Your breath slows to match the rhythm of wind moving through branches. Here, you can almost hear the trees breathing with you. They take in the carbon you release. They do not judge it or hoard it. They transform it. They build trunks and roots and leaves, all from the quiet gift of your exhale. In daylight, they open themselves to the sun. Sunlight touches their leaves like a painter's brush, and carbon joins with water to make sugar. A simple reaction, endlessly repeated, building entire forests from air. You can almost see it if you try. A single leaf, green and delicate, drinks in carbon dioxide and gives back oxygen. It is your partner in this cycle. You give what it needs. It returns what you need. It's a promise made in silence. The world is full of these exchanges. Grasses on plains, algae in ponds. Okay. Even microscopic phytoplankton in the sea follow the same rule. Okay. Each accepts your carbon, builds life from it, and offers you the breath you need to keep going. This is partnership without contracts. It's balance without force. Rest deeper in this thought. The cycle doesn't hurry. A tree may hold your carbon for decades, even centuries. When it falls, fungi and microbes return that carbon to soil and air. Nothing is permanent, but nothing is wasted. Your body knows this rhythm, even when your mind forgets. Your cells burn sugar for energy, breaking bonds carefully assembled by plants. You are powered by ancient sunlight stored in carbon bonds. You, live because of this quiet, chemical magic. In your chest, your heart beats slowly. It sends oxygen-rich blood to every corner of your body. With each pass, it gathers carbon dioxide, ready to be released. Even now, at rest, your body works patiently to keep you part of this dance. You don't have to think about it. You can just be. Breathe again, in, out. You can let go of everything else. The world is handling the details. It always has. Picture your carbon drifting into the dark. Somewhere it will join with water, with life, with stone. It may wait 1,000 years before returning to the air. Or it may become part of a leaf by dawn. You don't control its path, but you can trust its purpose. Sleep now, knowing you belong to something bigger than yourself. A shared breath that unites all life, a cycle that never ends. I promise the earth keeps with you, even in dreams. Lie back even further now, deeper, into your bed, as if the earth itself is holding you in its palm. Feel the weight of blankets as layers of soil, comforting, grounding. Safe. Your breath slows until it seems you are listening not to yourself, but to the planet breathing through you, in and out, a collective exhale. You are not the only sleeper. Tonight, forests rest, their stomata closed in the dark. Oceans hush under the moon. Animals curl in nests and dens, lungs rising and falling in shared rhythm. Even volcanoes sleep between their fiery breaths. You are part of this resting world. Imagine your carbon drifting through this quiet scene. It doesn't rush. It doesn't panic. It waits, patient as a seed in cold ground. It trusts the cycle. It knows its role. It will be food for a leaf, bone for a bird, stone for a mountain, memory for the earth. This is the story you're part of, whether you notice it or not. A story written in chemical bonds and released with each sigh. Long ago, before there were people to tell stories, carbon moved in these same circles. It watched continents drift and crash, hid in oceans that boiled and cooled. It formed creatures with shells, teeth, feathers. It burned in ancient fires and slept in rock for eons. And now it rests in you. Your cells burn carbon-based fuel to keep you warm in the night. They do this quietly, without fanfare, as if they to know the value of humility. You are a flickering moment in carbon's grand odyssey. Let that comfort you, because if nothing is permanent, nothing is wasted. Change is not loss, it's promise. Your carbon will outlive you. It will travel places you cannot imagine. It will be part of new lives. You can let go of fear of endings. The world's breath does not stop. Even when forests burn, they grow back. Even when oceans rise, life adapts. Even when carbon builds up in the air, the planet searches for balance. Tonight, you are not here to solve this. You are here to understand it, to rest in the knowing that cycles continue. So breathe again, in, out. Give your carbon freely. It's not a burden, but a gift. A promise to everything that will come after you as you drift toward sleep. Hold this final thought softly. Your exhale tonight is the beginning of something. Somewhere, something waits for it, and in that, you are forever connected. Rest even more deeply now, as if gravity is a kind hand guiding you down. Imagine the earth turning slowly beneath you, unhurried and constant. It turns whether you notice or not, carrying you through space, through seasons, through cycles of breath. The atmosphere wraps the planet like a gentle blanket. In that thin veil, every living thing exchanges gases in the same shared space. Your exhalation becomes part of this thin shield, joining the size of billions of other beings. It's humbling to know the atmosphere is so fragile, just a sliver of air, thin as an apple's skin, and yet it is enough to hold all the world's breath. It's enough to share. Imagine your carbon drifting higher, caught in looping currents. The jet stream sweeps it across continents. It mingles with air rising over deserts, tumbling through rain clouds, sliding down the cool slopes of mountains at night. There's no boundary it can't cross. Your carbon doesn't carry your name, your memories, your fears. It carries only possibility. It is humble that way. It will take any shape the world needs next. Feel your own shape soften as you listen. Let your tight thoughts loosen like knots UNTYNG. Now see a tundra in your mind's eye. Cold, vast, silent. Even here, carbon sleeps in frozen soil. When warmth returns, microbes stir, releasing ancient breath. It is slow, but certain. Elsewhere, a mangrove forest waits at the edge of the sea. Its tangled roots trap carbon in thick mud, holding it for centuries. Even the wetland's slow decay is a promise of storage. The world is always finding ways to hold carbon safely. It is clever that way, but sometimes the balance tips. Human fires, engines, factories release carbon faster than forests or oceans. Can catch it. The blanket grows thicker, warming the night. The cycle is unbroken, but it is strained. You are not to blame alone. You are not here to carry the weight of the world's worry tonight. You are here to know, to understand, to promise yourself that you'll remember in waking hours. Knowledge is the seed of change, but in the quiet of this night, knowledge is enough. You can rest knowing you are not separate from the world you hope to heal. You are made of it. You are giving back to it. Even now, with every gentle breath, your exhale will nourish something. It will become soil, seed, leaf, or shell. It will enter another life. Your part is not to force the cycle, but to trust it. So sink further. Let your muscles relax. Let your breath be your only task. In, out. A gift given. Promise kept. Somewhere, a seed is waiting for what you offer. Somewhere, life depends on your release tonight. You have done enough sleep now. Knowing you are part of the planet's quiet, endless exhalation. Chapter 2. Threads of light. Sun-woven breath. Close your eyes and step into a forest. The light here is soft, dappled, slipping between green leaves in quiet patterns. The air is cool and rich with scent. You take a slow breath, and the world seems to exhale in return. You listen to the hush of wind and branches, the distant call of a bird settling for the night. Here, you can feel the ancient promise that what you give, the forest will use, that your breath is food, a gift without expectation. You exhale gently, feeling carbon drift from you like a sigh. It's invisible, but real. It moves among trunks and roots, caught by a leaf you may never see. That leaf is waiting for you. Imagine sunlight striking that leaf, not harsh, but warm and golden, like a soft hand brushing against green. Sunlight is not forcefully persuades, gently asking carbon to transform. Within the leaf, light begins its patient work. Its molecules shift and change. Carbon dioxide from your breath meets water from the ground, and the leaf binds them together into sugar. This is photosynthesis, not a cold reaction, but a quiet conversation between light, air, and green life. You are part of that conversation. Rest here. Let your breathing slow to match the forest. In, out. This process is older than any city, older than human memory. Before words or tools, there was this exchange. Animals exhaling, plants inhaling, promise kept without needing to be spoken. Feel how balanced it is. You do not owe the forest anything more than your breath. It doesn't demand payment or thanks. It simply accepts what you give and turns it into life. Imagine now the sugar formed in the leaf. It travels down into roots, builds bark, forms fruit, all of it from your shared breath. The tree grows slowly, its trunk thickening over years, storing carbon you once carried in your chest. You may never see that tree again, but you will always be part of it. Your carbon may remain there for decades or centuries. The forest is patient, and even when the tree falls, its promise continues. Fungi and microbes will greet it, returning carbon to the soil where it feeds the next generation. This is not waste. This is continuity. Let your body grow heavier on your bed. Feel your weight pressing down like roots into the earth. You are anchored here, safe. Your breath joins with the forest breath, even at this distance. You give, the forest accepts. The forest grows. Sleep knowing that in this quiet trade, there is enough for everyone. You can almost feel the warmth of sunlight on your own skin as you lie still. Even here in the dark, the memory of light is in you. It burns quietly in every cell, in the energy you carry, in the gentle beating of your heart. Sunlight is captured by plants with a care that seems deliberate, though it has no thought. It wraps itself around carbon, holding it in bonds that can be used later. It is not wasteful. It saves everything. Your breath feeds this process. The carbon you release tonight may drift 4 days before finding a leaf. Or it may be taken by grass just outside your door. It doesn't choose where to go. It trusts the wind to guide it. Think of this wind, always moving, mixing the world's breath into one shared space. There is no corner untouched. Even the coldest peaks and hottest deserts receive air that once passed through someone's lungs. You are part of a global exchange so complete, so constant, that you never really breathe alone. Your carbon may help a tree grow tall, its branches spreading like arms in the sun. It may strengthen roots, holding soil in place so water can flow gently through it. It may form fruit that feeds an animal you will never see. And so you become part of lives you can't imagine. Rest with that idea. It is not your job to decide where your carbon goes. You can simply give it. The forest knows how to use it. Photosynthesis is quiet work. There is no roar or clash. It's just cells opening to the sun, making sugar with water and air. This sugar is stored carefully in wood, in leaves, in roots. It is energy saved for cold nights and dry seasons. For times when light is scarce, plants are teachers of patience. They show you that you don't need to hurry, that you can hold energy until it's truly needed, that you can grow slowly, layer by layer, without apology. Feel that lesson sink into you. Breathe slowly now, matching the rhythm of photosynthesis. Take in what you need. Give back what you can. There is no guilt in this exchange. No debt, just balance. The forest does not resent you for breathing out. It thanks you, and you can thank it in return, not with words, but with trust. Trust that it will take your carbon and turn it into life as you rest here. Imagine 1,000,000 leaves opening to dawn, ready to receive your breath. Sleep with the knowledge that you are part of this promise. Imagine now the tiniest detail, a single chloroplast inside a leaf cell. It is small beyond sight, yet filled with light's memory. Sunlight streams in and is caught, transformed, woven into bonds that will hold energy long after the sun has set. This is where your carbon goes. Into these quiet green factories, humming without noise. They work with precision, but no haste, crafting sugars that feed forests, fields, and every creature who eats them. You have helped make this happen, simply by breathing. It is easy to forget how connected you are. You may feel separate from trees and grass, from algae and moss. But the truth is simpler and kinder. You are part of their breath. They are part of yours. When you inhale, you accept the oxygen they have given. When you exhale, you return the carbon they need. It is a slow, patient conversation that began long before words. Lie still and imagine this dialogue in the dark. Your breath leaves you and finds a leaf. The leaf waits quietly, ready to receive. No transaction, no accounting, just mutual survival. Rest in this generosity. Consider the journey your carbon will take. It may become part of a maple leaf glowing red in autumn, or a blade of grass bending under dew, or a cactus rib holding water in a desert. It may travel far on winds that cross mountains and oceans, or it may stay close, sinking into the soil outside your window. Wherever it goes, will be used with care. Plants do not waste carbon. They lock it away in wood and roots, saving it from the sky. For years, decades, even centuries, a forest is a vault of your shared breath. Imagine standing among towering trunks, knowing that some part of you rests inside them. There is no need to rush. Growth here is measured in seasons, in rings of wood laid down year by year. Each ring holds a memory of the air, a record of what was given and received. You are part of that record. Feel your body slow as you listen. Your heartbeat steadies. Your breathing softens. The world does not ask you to be more than you are. It only asks you to be part of the cycle. In, out, carbon offered, carbon accepted. This is not obligation. It is grace. Sleep, knowing that your smallest act, breathing, is enough to feed life. That in giving what you no longer need, you help build something lasting. Tonight, you can rest. The leaves will wait for your gift. Now, think of all the lives that depend on this quiet work. Animals of every shape and size, from the smallest insect to the largest elephant. All begin with plants capturing light and carbon. The sugars made in leaves don't stay there. They move through food webs, feeding grazers, browsers, CD eaters. Those animals are eaten in turn, or die and decompose, returning carbon to soil and air. Your breath tonight will help feed this entire chain. You may not see the deer grazing in a field, or the rabbit nibbling leaves at dawn, but they owe their life to photosynthesis. So do you. Every meal you've ever eaten was built from light caught by green cells. Even the animals you may have eaten carried carbon from plants in their muscles and bones. This is the great, quiet truth. Every living thing is built from light and air transformed by green dot. Let that thought make you humble. Let it make you grateful. Imagine yourself in a sunlit clearing. Light warms your face. Around you, trees stand like guardians of balance, absorbing carbon you've released over your lifetime. They do not blame you for breathing. They do not accuse. They simply accept, transform, and give back. Rest here in this forgiveness. The carbon stored in wood is kept from the atmosphere for years. Forests are patient banks of carbon, slowly sequestering what you and countless others have offered. When a tree falls, it becomes food for fungi, insects, bacteriides, playing its part in returning carbon to soil. The soil itself is alive with these exchanges. Cute, carbon-rich compounds, feeding microbes that, in turn, help plants grow. It is a slow, cooperative economy without greed. Your breath tonight will eventually join this underground market, feeding tiny lives you'll never see. But that is enough. You don't need to plan it, manage it, or even understand every detail. You only need to trust that what you give will be used in, out. It's promise kept with every exhale. Let your eyes close more heavily. Feel your body sink as if roots were growing from you into the ground, anchoring you in this understanding. Your part is simple: to live, to breathe, to share. The forest will do its part in return. Sleep, knowing you are part of this partnership. Older than memory, older than speech. You give what you no longer need. The world turns it into life. Picture dawn breaking over the forest, and pale light drips through the canopy, striking countless leaves waiting for the sun's return. The world holds its breath for a moment, then exhales softly as photosynthesis begins again. This daily ritual is older than mountains. As the sun rises, plants open tiny pores on their leaves, inviting in your carbon dioxide. They do not see it as waste. To them, it is sustenance, opportunity. Your breath becomes part of this quiet miracle. Imagine your carbon inside a leaf cell, caught in green chlorophyll. Sunlight hits it, and the molecule changes. It binds with water, forming sugar. A bond is made, energy stored. This energy will not be wasted. It will travel. It will become fruit to feed a bird, roots to hold the earth against rain, pollen to draw insects. It may even become the sturdy wood that builds someone's shelter. Your simple act of exhaling helps make this possible. Breathe deeply now, filling your lungs fill with oxygen given freely by plants. They do not ask for thanks. They only ask that you continue the exchange. This is the oldest agreement on earth. Take and give. Your heart slows as you remember this. Your body settles, no longer needing to do anything but rest. Consider, for a moment, the balance held by forests. They store carbon not in vaults of steel, but in living bodies. They adjust to drought, to wind, to cold. When lightning strikes, they may burn, sending carbon skyward once more. But even this destruction is not the end. Seeds will sprout in ash, ready to absorb what was lost. The cycle holds. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is truly lost. Let that idea sink in as you sink further into your bed. You are part of a process that forgives and renews. Your breath tonight will become a gift for tomorrow. The forest waits for it patiently, in, out. A soft offering. A leaf trembles in the breeze, ready to accept. You don't have to understand every reaction or memorize every equation. Your body knows enough to trust the rhythm. As you drift toward sleep, imagine the forest breathing with you. It's millions of leaves, quiet lungs of the world, waiting for dawn, waiting for your breath. And when you sleep, they will continue their work, turning your carbon into life. Feel your body lying heavy on the bed, as if roots are growing from your spine, reaching deep into the quiet, dark earth. Let your thoughts follow those roots, winding among soil and stones, finding patient networks of life. Beneath forests, roots exchange carbon with the ground. They release sugars, feeding countless microbes. In return, these microbes deliver nutrients the plant needs. 8 is a partnership written in the language of chemistry, spoken without sound. Your breath feeds this, too. The carbon you give tonight may nourish a leaf that sends sugars below to roots. Those sugars become the currency of underground trades. This world beneath us is vast. Mycorrhizal fungi link roots across species, forming a network sometimes called the Wood Wide Web. Through these threads, trees share resources, warn of danger, support their young. Your carbon might travel through these fungal highways. It may feed a seedling in the shadows, helping it grow toward its own patch of light. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is alone. Imagine lying in this hidden world, surrounded by soft whispers of life at work. There is no rush, no competition for victory. Only careful balance. Your breathing slows. Each exhale feels like trust above ground. Leaves open and close with the light, timing their work to the sun's steady rise and fall. Even in darkness, some plants keep working, storing energy for tomorrow's light. They have learned patience that you can borrow tonight. Consider the forests of the world. Rainforests, heavy with moisture and life. Boreal forests, blanketed in snow. Temperate forests, blazing with autumn color. Each different, yet all part of the same cycle. All of them breathing with you. Your carbon does not care where it travels. It does not choose a favorite forest. It is equal in every leaf it enters. This is the lesson of photosynthesis, generosity, without condition. As you lie here, you can choose to let go of the day's demands. You do not have to force your breath. You do not have to prove anything. You only need to give what you no longer need, and know that somewhere a green life waits for it. In, out. A promise exchanged in silence. Let your eyelids grow heavier, your thoughts softer, your body more still. Trust the forests to do their work while you sleep. They will take what you give and turn it into something beautiful. Let your mind drift now to places you may never see. Imagine jungles steaming with life, each leaf wide and eager to catch the sun. Picture wetlands humming with insects. Grass is swaying as they pull carbon from the humid air. Your breath tonight may join these places, carried on winds you cannot control. It will not ask permission to travel. It will simply go. You may feel small lying in your bed, but your breath is not small. It is part of the global dance of life. Every exhale is a thread woven into the fabric of ecosystems. Rest in that truth. Consider a single tree. It stands for decades or centuries, a monument to patience. Over time, it locks away your carbon in strong, fibrous wood. It builds rings you can count like years in a diary. Each layer holds a memory of seasons past, dry years, wet years, years of plenty, years of fire. Your carbon is part of those stories, and when the tree finally falls, your carbon does not escape in panic. Fungi and insects arrive, welcoming it back to the soil. Microbes feast carefully, turning it to air and earth in measured steps. Even death is part of the promise. Feel the calm in knowing there is no waste. The forest uses every gift. Even fire, which seems to destroy, creates the chance for renewal. Flames may release stored carbon quickly, but they clear space for new growth. New seedlings, new beginnings. Your carbon will see many forms in its long life. You may think of it becoming part of the green in spring, stem brown in autumn, part of a seed fallen to earth, part of a root burrowing deeper in search of water. You are everywhere in these possibilities. Sleep invites you to trust that you don't have to choose where your carbon goes. You don't need to plan its journey. The earth has done this for billions of years. It knows how to use what you give. In, out. Breathe with the understanding that you're participating in a grand design. A design with no central architect, only balance emerging from countless small exchanges. You can rest tonight knowing you are not a burden on the world. Your breath is part of its pattern. It is accepted, needed, welcomed. Let this acceptance soften your muscles. Let it slow your thoughts. Let it carry you toward sleep. Because even as you sleep, the forest waits for your breath. It will catch it, hold it, and transform it into life, a gift given freely. There is one final thought to carry with you tonight. As your breath grows slower, your body more still, you don't need to see the outcome of your giving to know that it matters. You may never witness the tree that grows taller because of you. You may never walk beneath its shade or taste the fruit your carbon helped ripen. And yet, it happens, quietly, faithfully. You have already contributed. Somewhere, a green leaf begins to form. In its delicate tissues is a trace of the air you no longer needed. Your breath has found its way, and in that small cell, life begins. Again, feel the gentleness of that. The world does not rush. It does not demand applause. It simply moves forward, cycle by cycle, moment by moment. Photosynthesis continues while you sleep. Light will return in the morning. The plants will open their leaves again. The exchange will go on. You don't need to be awake for this to happen. Your body has already played its part. In your chest, your lungs rest. Your heart slows. The chemistry inside you shifts toward healing, renewal. The earth's quiet magic continues without your effort. In, out. Even your dreams are part of the cycle as you drift off. Imagine leaves fluttering gently overhead. Imagine the sunlight reaching through the canopy, filtered, softened, welcomed. Feel the warmth of light. You cannot see, but still remember, you are not separate from the forest. You are not above it or beneath it. You are part of its breath. You give, it grows, it gives. You live. The dance continues with no end. Let this final breath tonight be an offering, not because you must, but because you can, because it's beautiful, because it's enough. And let sleep take you like sunlight slipping through leaves, quiet, warm, and full of promise. Chapter 3. Silent Depths. The Ocean's Breath. Listen to the sea's hush. Beneath its surface, your breath is absorbed and sought. Carried. Tonight, you will drift with carbon through quiet currents, float on calm waves in your mind. Seeked carbon dissolving into cool water, feeding tiny, drifting life. Feel the vast ocean cradle your breath. Trust in its silent, unseen work, balancing and holding the planet's slow exhale. Close your eyes and hear the slow hush of waves against a distant shore. Even in darkness, you can sense the vastness of the ocean, a patient expanse stretching far beyond sight, cradling the world in its cool embrace. You lie still, but your breath travels. Carbon leaves you gently, rising into the night air, carried by winds that wander the globe. Eventually, some of it drifts down to the waiting ocean. Imagine standing on the edge of the water, watching your exhale slip into the surf. The sea accepts it without question. It pulls carbon dioxide into its depths, a quiet exchange that has gone on for eons. This is no violent conquest. It is a gentle invitation. The ocean is the planet's other lung, inhaling what you and countless others have released. Let that thought slow your breathing. In, out. The sea does the same. Currents carry water across the globe, upwelling cold, nutrient-rich layers to feed life at the surface. As these waters rise, they bring with them stored carbon from the deep, releasing it gently back into the air. Your carbon may sink for decades, even centuries, caught in cold currents moving silently in the dark. It may be stored in the deep, only to return in another age. Nothing is lost. Nothing is wasted. Picture yourself floating on calm swells. The water holds you up, weightless, safe. Beneath you, unseen layers shift and mix, carrying your breath to places you cannot go. Tiny organisms wait there. Phytoplankton, too small to see, drift in sunlit layers, feeding on carbon you once carried in your lungs. They use sunlight as plants do, turning your exhaled carbon into new life. They are the lungs of the ocean, making half of the oxygen you breathe. Rest in this knowledge. You have already given them something they need, even now. The ocean is doing its quiet work, absorbing, holding, balancing. You do not have to do anything but trust it. Breathe again, in, out. Know that the ocean's breath is your breath. Its hush is your lullaby. Sleep comes more easily when you know you're held by something so vast and patient. Imagine now the surface of the ocean at dawn. Pale light touches endless water, revealing ripples that move without hurry. Her breath has joined this vast reservoir, dissolved in cooled salt water, ready to begin its hidden journey. Below, in the top sunlit layers, phytoplankton drift. Tiny plants, smaller than grains of sand, soak up light and carbon dioxide. The carbon becomes part of their delicate bodies. It is humbling to know that life, small, can shape the world. These drifting gardens feed the entire ocean. Tiny crustaceans graze on them. Fish eat the crustaceans. Whales swallow vast clouds of plankton in single, sweeping gulps. Your breath becomes part of this food web, building bodies you'll never see, sustaining lives in places you'll never go. Rest in the knowledge that you don't need to plan this. The ocean has always known what to do. Picture the water layers below. Sunlight fades quickly here. Warm surface currents mix with colder, deeper ones in slow, looping motions. Cues. Currents carry your carbon downward, sinking it into the ocean's heart. It is a slow, deliberate movement. Some carbon drifts as tiny particles, marine snow falling endlessly through the dark. Bits of dead plankton, feces, fragments of shells, all slowly descending, carrying your exhaled carbon to the ocean floor. There, it may rest for centuries, or it may become rock, locked away for millions of years. You don't have to choose what happens. You can let go. Okay. Knowing the ocean has space for your breath. It has time, in, out. Your exhalation tonight joins countless others, from animals on land, from burning forests, from distant factories. The ocean accepts them all. It buffers, balances, holds back change when it can. It is not perfect. It can be overwhelmed. But even then, it keeps working, absorbing what it can, sending nutrients back to the surface to feed life anew. Let this thought soothe you. The ocean is not your enemy. It is not a stranger. It is part of your own body's story. You are salty because of ancient seas. Your blood carries the memory of ocean chemistry. Ions balanced like the water that made life possible. You are not separate, so breathe again, in, out, and trust the ocean to hold your gift. Even now, as you lie here in darkness, the waves continue their work. The currents keep moving. The phytoplankton keep feasting on light and carbon, making the oxygen you will breathe tomorrow. Sleep in that promise. Picture yourself drifting farther from shore, to water deepening beneath you. The land disappears behind a soft curve of horizon. Here, the ocean seems endless of dark, living mirror of the sky. Your breath, released long ago, now mingles with these vast waters. It dissolves, spreads, becomes part of something larger than you can imagine. Think of the ocean's surface as a thin skin exchanging gases with the air above. Carbon dioxide moves in and out, adjusting to temperature, pressure, wind. Even the gentlest breeze can change how much the sea absorbs. It is a quiet negotiation. It's unhurried, constant. Below, currents swirl like slow rivers within the ocean itself. Some hug coastlines, bringing cold, nutrient-rich water upward in a gift to life at the surface. This upwelling feeds blooms of phytoplankton, turning water green with new growth. Your carbon, caught in these currents, may rise again after years in darkness. It will not return unchanged. It will carry the memory of its journey. Imagine now the biological pumper phrase scientists use to describe the ocean's hidden work. It is not machinery of steel, but of life. Tiny creatures consume carbon at the surface, then die and sink, pulling it away from the air for long stretches of time. This slow snowfall of life is marine snow. It drifts endlessly through black water, each flake a promise kept. Some carbon settles on the seafloor. There it may rest in cold mud, locked away from the atmosphere. Over millennia, layers build, pressing carbon into rock you may never see. These places, but you are part of them. Your breath tonight is a contributor to this ancient system of balance. Rest in knowing you do not have to force this work. The ocean is patient. It can wait centuries to release the carbon it stores. It is a buffer for the world's air, buying time for forests to grow, for people to change. It is not perfect, nor infinite. Even the ocean can be overfilled. Too much carbon lowers its pH, turning it more acidic, threatening shells, reefs, all life built on calcium carbonate. But even in this, the ocean strives to maintain balance. Feel the slow churn of its currents, mirrored in your own breathing. In, out, tide within you. You don't need to hold on tightly. You can release. Your breath will not be lost. It will become part of deep time, of moving water, of life too small to see, but essential all the same. Tonight, you can trust that the ocean will hold your exhalation gently. Let sleep take you like waves rolling onto a quiet shore. Now let your thoughts drift downward, sinking through layers of quiet. Light fades quickly here. The sun's reach is shallow, but life persists in the twilight zone. This is the midwater, where strange creatures glow with borrowed light. Bioluminescence flickers like tiny lanterns in the dark. They are hunters, prey, messengers of the deep. Even here, carbon moves. Your breath's carbon may become part of these drifting beings, fueling the small fires of their metabolism. Or it may remain dissolved, moving with slow currents that circle the globe over centuries. Rest with that vast sense of time. You are part of processes that cannot be rushed. Imagine the great ocean conveyor belt, a global system of currents that moves water from surface to depth and back again. It is driven by differences in temperature and salt, moving heat around the world. Your carbon, once taken up at the surface, can travel thousands of miles underwater. It might slip beneath Arctic ice. It might drift along the bottom of the Atlantic. It may rest in the cold silence of the abyss for generations. There is patience in this journey. No one is counting days or measuring productivity. The ocean's deep currents do not rush to return carbon to the air. They hold it gently, giving the atmosphere time to adjust. Your exhalation tonight is part of that gift. Breathe slowly, knowing that what you release does not simply vanish. It joins a system that works quietly for balance. Consider the whales, the giants of the ocean. Their bodies store carbon for decades, even centuries. When they die, they sink, carrying carbon with them to the seafloor. Their deaths feed entire ecosystems that live in darkness, waiting for this rare, rich rain. Your carbon may follow this path, supporting life you will never see. Nothing is wasted. Even death is part of the promise. To return what was borrowed, let this knowledge ease the tension in your muscles. Let your shoulders sink, let your jaw soften. You don't have to solve the ocean's problems tonight. You only need to understand that you are already part of its work. Your breathing is not selfish. It is a contribution, in, out, a quiet partnership between you and the sea. The ocean has accepted your breath without question for millennia. It will continue to do so as long as you remember to offer it gently. Tonight, as you lie here, imagine the slow swirl of currents beneath you. Feel their promise. Your carbon will not be lost. It will travel. It will nourish. It will return, and you can rest. Picture now the ocean at night. The surface looks calm under the moon, but beneath it, an entire world awakens. Countless, tiny creatures rise toward the surface in the planet's largest migration, chasing food and fleeing predators. Your breath's carbon may already be part of this dance. Phytoplankton near the surface is fed by your carbon, bloom in the moonlight. Zooplankton graze on them, tiny mouths opening and closing in the dark. Small fish dart among them. Each mouthful is a transfer of your exhalation. These small lives matter. They feed the fish that feed other fish, that feed seals, sharks, and whales. Your breath becomes muscle and bone, speed and power. Life on the move. You are part of this entire chain. Rest in that thought. The ocean does not waste. What is not eaten sinks. Tiny fecal pellets, dead plankton, and discarded shells drift downward in the constant fall of marine snow. Each flake carries carbon away from the air. It is not dramatic, not fast, but it is relentless. Your breaths. Carbon may become part of this gentle snow, falling for weeks or months before touching the seafloor. There, bacteria and worms, starfish and crabs will use it again. Nothing is lost. Consider the coral reefs, shining cities built of carbon pulled from water. Your carbon may settle into these structures, forming limestone skeletons that can last for centuries, even as reefs struggle with warming seas and acidification. They keep building, keep catching carbon, keep supporting dazzling varieties of life. Your breath contributes to that in this way. Even your smallest actan exhales, touches the vastness of ocean systems. Breathe slowly now, knowing you are not separate from any of it. The same atoms that form your breath once drifted in ancient seas. They formed shells that became rock, which weathered back into rivers and flowed again to the sea. This cycle is older than mountains, and you are a part of it simply by being alive. There is no test to pass, no price to pay, just the gentle responsibility of participating well, in, out, a promise made with every breath. Tonight, you do not need to understand every detail of ocean chemistry or current. It is enough to trust that your exhalation will be accepted, used, transformed. Somewhere, a plankton waits. Somewhere, a fish will swim stronger because you gave. And somewhere, the ocean holds your breath like a secret, safe in its endless blue. Let your mind wander now to the ocean's farthest places. Imagine deep trenches, so black and cold, no sunlight ever reaches them. Pressure there is immense, silence complete. Yet, even here, life persists. Your carbon may eventually sink to these depths, caught in sediment that builds over millennia. Layer upon layer of memory pressed into stone. It will wait there in patience you can barely imagine. This is the ocean's long game. It is not about quick fixes or instant results. It is about storing carbon safely, locking it away from the air for ages, buying time for balance to return. You do not have to oversee this process. You only have to trust it. Your breath tonight will take paths you can't follow. It may swirl in eddies near shore, dissolve in crashing surf, drift in lazy juniors in the open sea. It may sink in the cold North Atlantic, pulled downward as water chills and grows heavy, beginning a journey around the world in a great conveyor belt. This movement is slow but constant. It connects the poles to the equator, the surface to the abyss. Your carbon joins in that quiet circulation, in, out. A promise that even what is released will be used well. Think of the kelp forests swaying in cold currents, tall as underwater trees. They drink in dissolved carbon. It's growing in green ribbons that house fish and crabs and sea otters. Your carbon might help a kelp blade grow. It might feed the tiny snails grazing on it. It might move up the food chain, feeding larger creatures that dance in filtered light. The ocean is not just deep. It is varied. Coral reefs, kelp forests, seagrass beds all depend on carbon and balance. Your breath tonight is part of that balance. Feel the relief in knowing you don't have to manage it. You can let go. Your breathing slows as you picture currents looping across the globe. They do not rush. They do not panic. They move steadily. A planetary heartbeat. You can match that rhythm now. In, out. This is your offering. Sleep can come more easily when you know your exhalation is not a burden, but a contribution. You are not taking too much. You are participating. And somewhere, even now, the ocean holds that gift for you, waiting to use it well. Now, picture yourself standing at the edge of a tide pool. The ocean, even in its smallest pockets, reflects the entire planet's story. Crabs scuttle, barnacles wave their feathery limbs. Chaosy glisten in salt-laced air. Your breath's carbon may one day settle here caught in a bubble beneath seaweed, or drifting into the shell of a mussel. It may strengthen coral or become part of a fish's scale. Nothing is too small for the ocean's attention. Let that comfort you. We often think of our impact in terms of damage, burning, emitting, depleting. But here, you are reminded that even your quietest acts carry meaning. Not all carbon released is destructive. Some is part of a sacred pattern of giving. The ocean understands this. It knows how to sort and store, how to use and release. It is still adapting even as human activity overwhelms its rhythms. Let your heart soften not in guilt, okay? But in awareness. You are not apart from this ocean. You are made from its ancient memory, the salt in your tears, the rhythm of your breath, the water in your veins, they all echo the sea. When the ocean breathes in your carbon, it does not condemn. It participates. It transforms, okay? It continues the cycle, and that cycle includes you, in, out, a breath. You no longer need becomes nourishment for something else. Maybe it helps a diatom drift toward sunlight. Maybe it helps a whale grow a little stronger. Maybe it becomes part of a shell that lasts for decades. You may never know its destination, okay? But you can trust its purpose. Carbon is not evil. It is essential. It is only imbalance that brings harm. The ocean works constantly to restore balance, to buffer your shared air, to hold excess safely below. But it, too, has limits. As carbon levels rise, the water grows more acidic. Tiny shelled creatures struggle to build their armor. Reefs bleach. Ecosystems falter. Yet, even here, in this fragile moment, the ocean keeps working. It does not give up. Neither must we. But tonight is not for solving. It is for remembering. For resting in the truth that you are part of the solution simply by existing. Gently, by honoring your breath, by giving it with care. Let your body grow heavy, like a stone sinking slowly into deep blue water. Let your thoughts float farther out to the ocean's calm embrace. The sea will hold you, just as it holds your breath. Always lie back even further now, your body fully supported, as if you're floating on calm water. Let the hush of imagined waves fill your ears, a slow and soothing lullaby. You don't have to do anything. Just breathe. Your exhale tonight is a quiet offering. The ocean will take it, cradle it, use it, not in haste, but in certainty. It will feed life unseen, stabilize the air you share with every other breathing thing. This is trust at its most basic level. Picture your carbon moving through currents that span the globe. It drifts along continental shelves, circles and gyres, sinks into trenches. Along the way, it becomes part of plankton blooms, shell growth, coral skeletons. Even the tiniest life depends on this dance. There is wonder in this hidden economy. Carbon fuels energy, builds bodies, supports entire webs of life. And when creatures die, they return it. The ocean receives it back, holds it gently, waits to release it again when the time is right. Cycles without malice, exchanges without debt. You are not an outsider to these rhythms. You are them. Your lungs mirror the seas, surface taking in oxygen, releasing carbon. Your heart pumps in steady pulses like the ocean's tides. The water in your cells once flowed through rivers, clouds, and seas. You are proof that the earth recycles well. Sleep invites you to release control. You don't need to track your carbon's journey. You don't need to direct where it goes. The ocean has done this for eons. It knows what to do with what you give. Rest in that wisdom. Feel your breathing slow, in, out. Imagine each exhale carried away on the wind, over land and water, finally sinking into the cool embrace of the sea. Somewhere deep below the waves, it will wait for decades, for centuries, for the next time the world needs it. Nothing you give tonight will be wasted. Let that bring you peace. The ocean's breath is the planet's great promise of balance. Even when threatened, it remembers how to hold, how to share, how to nourish. That is not perfect, but it is patient, and tonight it holds your gift. Close your eyes, listen for the hush of imagined surf. Let your breath become part of that sound. You are safe here. You are part of the ocean's slow, beautiful work, and as you drift to sleep, you can trust. Your breath will carry life. Chapter 4. Rooted Memory. Soil's hidden cycle. Lie close to the earth and listen. Below you, carbon moves slowly, feeding life unseen. Imagine roots spreading below you, drawing carbon deep into soil. Feel the patient work of microbes, transforming what once lived. Rest knowing nothing is wasted, that earth keeps memory in dark, nourishing cycles. Close your eyes and imagine lying on warm earth. Feel the weight of your body pressing gently down, connecting you to the solid ground. You are safe here, cradled by the planet itself. Breathe slowly in, out. Each exhale sinks down, imagined carbon drifting through soil. It doesn't vanish. It begins a quiet journey downward, feeding life that moves without hurry, without light. Beneath you is a hidden world. Roots branch like fingers through darkness, seeking water, nutrients, anchoring life above. They don't push violently. They slip between particles, splitting rock over centuries, making paths for water and air. Your carbon may feed these roots. Imagine root tip finding a pocket of your breath's carbon, drinks it in, pulling it closer, using it to build new cells, to grow just a little deeper. There is patience here. No one rushes underground. Rest in that slowness. Microbes wait, too, so small you can't see them, yet countless in number. They cluster around roots, trading nutrients for sugars made from your carbon. This is commerce without greed. The plant offers sugars energy caught from sunlight. The microbes give minerals back. They transform nitrogen, break down dead matter, make the soil fertile. Your breath becomes part of this economy. Picture the soil teeming with unseen life, bacteria, fungi, tiny worms, all of them taking what was once part of you and turning it into something useful. Nothing is wasted. The earth remembers everything given to it. Fallen leaves, dead insects, animal remains, all broken down into food for the next generation. Your carbon is welcome here. Let that comfort you. You do not need to know exactly where it will go. You only need to trust that it will be used, that life below you will take it and make it part of something new. In, out, feel the ground supporting you. You are not apart from it. You are made of the same materials, okay? The same atoms shaped and reshaped over time. Even in sleep, you belong to this cycle, and tonight can rest knowing that what you give is not lost, but transformed. Picture the soil in cross-section, layers, built up over time like pages in an ancient book. Each layer holds a record of what lived and died, of what was given and received. Your breath's carbon will settle here, joining this archive of memory. It will not be hurried. It will wait for rain to carry it deeper, for roots to find it, for microbes to unlock its energy. Rest in that idea. Soil is patient in ways people forget. It holds onto carbon for years, decades, sometimes centuries. In cool forests, layers of fallen leaves accumulate slowly, decaying gently under moss and rain. Your carbon may help build that layer, becoming part of a soft floor that muffles footsteps and holds moisture for thirsty roots. Or it may drift into a grassland, feeding soil where roots form dense tangles. Here, fire may pass through from time to time, releasing some carbon back to air, but leaving much behind in blackened residue. Even fire is part of the balance. Nothing is truly lost. Breathe slowly, imagining your body lying on this soil. Feel its firmness and warmth. It holds you up without question. It asks for nothing in return except what you naturally give. Your carbon is not waste. It is a promise. Plants send roots down like explorers, seeking out pockets of nutrients. Break up rock, make soil deeper, richer. Your carbon may travel with them, moving slowly from surface to root tip. Microbes follow. Fungi form vast networks, mycelium spreading like white threads through darkness. They connect plants to one another, sharing resources and warnings and chemical messages. Your carbon may fuel this network. It will be passed along, used carefully, never squandered. Rest in the idea that the earth knows what to do with what you offer. You don't have to decide. You don't have to direct it. In, out, a simple exchange. Tonight, you can let go of all responsibility except breathing. Your exhale is enough. Picture it sinking into soil. It's where we'll wait, be found, be transformed. Where life you will never see will benefit from what you have given freely. And you can sleep knowing that even in stillness, you are contributing to the world's renewal. Imagine now the slow, silent work of decomposition. Its fallen leaves turn, soft and dark. Twigs crumble into fibers. Dead roots break apart, feeding the soil with carbon once gathered from the air. Your breath's carbon joins this steady transformation It fuels life in forms you rarely consider. Bacteria cluster in moist pockets, breaking complex matter into simpler parts. Fungi thread through decaying wood, releasing enzymes that unlock nutrients. This is chemistry guided by patience. Nothing in the soil is wasted. Every fallen thing is seen as potential. Even death is an invitation for new growth. The energy stored in carbon bonds is never destroyed, rearranged, passed along. You can rest knowing you are part of this generous system. Picture a single grain of soil. Even this tiny world teems with life. Hundreds of species live in one pinch of dirt. They trade, compete, cooperate. They build communities that have lasted for millions of years. Your carbon is a gift to these hidden lives. It becomes food for one creature, waste for another, until eventually it is incorporated into new roots, new stems, new seeds. There is no shame in decay here. Decay is simply another word for change. Lie back and feel your body relax, surrendering to gravity. Imagine roots twining around you gently, not to trap you, but to hold you in place, to welcome you. Your exhale tonight does not vanish into nothing. It moves downward in this imagined world, seeping into soil pores, dissolving in water films, taken up by root hairs that seek out every possibility, in, out. Your role is not to control this journey. It is only to give what you can. Trust the soil to know what to do. Consider old-growth forests. Their soil is deep and rich because of generations of giving. Trees that fell centuries ago still feed new saplings. Your carbon may join this lineage, quiet contributor to green cathedrals that outlast empires. There is comfort in knowing that your smallest action breathing is enough to feed the future. Sleep comes easier when you realize you do not need to be more than this. Your breath is an offering, and the earth is always ready to accept it. Close your eyes and imagine lying on warm earth. Feel your body pressed gently against the ground, cradled by the planet itself. You are safe, here healed, supported, welcome. You breathe in, you breathe out. Your exhale carries carbon, leaving your body sinking into the soil below. Atita, it doesn't disappear. Begins a quiet journey into the hidden layers of life. Beneath you is a world of roots and microbes, of tunnels and trades, where nothing is still, but everything is alive. Imagine the roots delicate, strong, reaching out like fingers in the dark. They move slowly, parting soil, grain by grain, searching for water, minerals, and air. When they find carbon, they draw it in without hesitation. Your breath may become part of a root's journey, building new tips that dive deeper still. Now, think smaller, tiny organisms crowd the soil and silence bacteria. Fungi, nematodes, form vast underground communities, countless and unseen, turning death into life. They feed on fallen leaves and rotting wood, on dead insects and dropped seeds. They turn what was into what will be. Your carbon may feed them. It may be passed from one cell to the next, moving through a system older than humanity, older even than the trees. The plant offers sugars made from light. Powered by your carbon, and the microbes return nitrogen, phosphorus, and strength. This quiet exchange fuels everything above, and you are already part of it. Each grain of soil is a small world. Inside it live more organisms than there are people on Earth. They compete. They collaborate. They build and break down, cycle and renew. Your exhale tonight becomes part of their story. There is no waste here. There is only transformation. Picture your carbon becoming part of a leaf's stem, or sinking deeper into roots that anchor a tree in wind. Or perhaps it rests in humus, the dark, rich layer that holds memory in every molecule. Feel how steady the soil is beneath you. It does not rush. It does not ask. It simply receives what you offer and begins the slow, faithful work of renewal. Even death is welcome here, not an end, but a return. What falls is not lost. It is changed. It becomes food. It becomes structure. It becomes life again. Your breath is not pollution. It is a promise. Forests know this. Grasslands know this. The soil under your feet knows it best of all. Let this understanding bring you peace. You do not need to track your carbon's journey. You don't need to guide it. The earth has been doing this for billions of years. It knows how to turn breath into roots, into blossoms, into tomorrow. So breathe in, out. Let your exhale fall downward into the waiting dark. Imagine roots curling toward it. Imagine a seedling growing stronger because of you. Imagine life unfolding quietly, patiently. Your gift is already given. You can rest now deeply, fully knowing the earth holds you, remembers you, makes use of every breath you release. Nothing is wasted, not even this moment. Chapter 5. Molten heartbeat fires. Slow exhalation. Close your eyes. Beneath your body, the earth is warm not with the heat of sun, but with something older, deeper, more ancient than breath. Imagine lying still on the crust of the earth, a solid raft floating atop a churning sea of fire. You feel nothing at the surface, but beneath you. The planet stirs, slowly, quietly, constantly. This is the earth's molten heartbeat. It beats not in seconds or minutes, but in ages. Its pulse, measured in the rise of mountains and the drift of continents. Its breath is not wind, but fire. Breathe slowly, in, out. The air you exhale tonight is made of stories billions of years old. Some of your carbon may one day sink into the crust, to be carried into the deep by a moving tectonic plate. Picture that journey. Sea floor slowly pulled under a continent. Layer by layer, shells, limestone, organic matter are pressed downward, deeper into heat and pressure, deeper into silence. And still, the earth waits for millions of years. Your carbon may lie dormant, locked in rock, lost in time. Then one day, the heat becomes too great. The bonds holding it break. It is released into magma, rising slowly toward the light, not as a rush, not as destruction, but as exhalation. You are not watching from danger tonight. You are a quiet observer, a distant witness to the earth's own breath. Imagine a volcano on the horizon, its sides glowing faintly in the dark. A slow plume of gas rises from its peak. No panic, no eruption. It's fire, returning what was buried. This is the earth's way of breathing out. Carbon, once stored in ancient stone, rises into air again. The cycle continues. Your breath becomes part of this rhythm. Just as the earth releases, so do you. In, out, dot. Feel the safety and understanding that even something as powerful as fire can be part of balance. This heat is not cruel. It is necessary. It drives movement. It builds new land. It powers the recycling of rock into air, into rock again. Every volcano that breathes also creates. Let yourself drift farther now to the time of deep geology. Forget minutes, forget days. Here, one breath might take 10,000 years to return, and still it returns. Your carbon, once inhaled by a tree, may someday rest in stone. That stone may melt and rise, and your carbon will breathe out again, lifted on smoke, carried by wind, return to sky. You are part of this grand return. Imagine standing at the edge of cooled lava. It is black and glassy, but still warm underfoot. It was once liquid, glowing orange, moving like slow water. Now it is stone, solid, silent, but not dead. Inside, your carbon may rest, trapped in new minerals, held in place for centuries or millennia. Until heat returns, nothing is truly gone. Nothing wasted. Breathe. Your own exhalation tonight is small compared to the earth's fire. Yet it is the same element, the same ancient carbon cycling endlessly above you. The air holds carbon dioxide exhaled by volcanoes millions of years ago. That carbon-fed forests, built coal, was buried, released again. You inhaled the history of eruptions you never saw. You're breathing geology. Consider the slow movement of plates, like continents drifting on conveyor belts of molten rock. Their collisions raise mountains, expose old stone, release gases trapped for ages. Your carbon will join this journey someday. It may be buried in soil first, taken up by roots, or it may sink into ocean sediments, packed into limestone. It may be stored there for eons, a quiet promise. Then a plate will shift. That rock will move downward. Heat will rise. Pressure will build. Chemical bonds will snap and reform. Your carbon will be freed in magma, waiting to rise. Volcanoes are not monsters. They are vents. Mouths for the planet's breath. When they speak, they release not just fire, but memory. You lie here safely, imagining it all. You feel the deep time rhythm, in, out. Your breath tonight mirrors Earth's own exhale. Both are necessary. Both feed life. Volcanoes release gases that warm the planet, but also feed oceans. Ash carries minerals that fertilize fields. The balance is never static. It pulses, moves, adjusts. Fire destroys. Yes, but it also creates new landforms from cooled lava. Islands rise from the sea. Soils develop on fresh rock. Life returns, seeded by wind and carried by birds. Your carbon may help build those first fragile plants. Let this thought slow your heart. Even destruction holds space for renewal. Your breath is not a burden. It is an offering to this ancient system. In, out, somewhere far below, your carbon waits. Its turn to be fire. And one day, perhaps long after your body has returned to Soya, carbon will rise. It will glow again in the darkness of the mantle, lifted in a plume through cracks in the crust. It will escape with gas and steam, rising like incense into the high air. It may swirl with clouds, travel on wind, dissolve in rain. It may fall into forests, drift through oceans, settle into lungs. It may become breath again, not yours, but someone else's, a tree's, a deer's, a child's, a stranger's dream. This is not fantasy. This is science wrapped in poetry. The carbon in you is not owned. It is borrowed. It is ancient. It is shared. Every volcano, every fire, every breath you take is part of that story. Let your body grow heavier. Let your thoughts slow like magma cooling to stone. You have done your part. Even in sleep, your body contributes. You burn sugars made from carbon, fueling quiet processes within. And with each breath, you return what you do not need. The world receives it without hesitation. The Earth's core will continue to churn. Mountains will rise and wear down. Lava will pour and cool. Volcanoes will sigh out heat from the deep. And you will be part of that long rhythm, one exhale at a time. Your breath is a thread in the planet's great weaving, crossing air and stone. Fire and leaf, mountain and ocean. There is no rush. There is no waste. There is only movement. In, out. A cycle that holds you even when you sleep. Rest now in the safety of stone, in the memory of fire, Tej, in the breath of a planet still becoming. And when you dream, dream of lava glowing beneath. Rising, not in rage, but in purpose, carrying the promise of renewal in every plume. Your carbon is not lost. It is simply waiting for its turn to rise again. Chapter 6. The forest remembers trees and the long breath. Lie back and listen. The forest holds your breath in its patient, green lungs. Lie back. Let your body grow heavy, as if sinking into soft moss above you. Leaves filter sunlight into slow green flickers. Even here in your room, you can feel the hush of trees waiting for your breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Your exhalation is a gift, not trash, not burden, but food offered freely to the forest without thought. Imagine that carbon leaving your lungs, floating invisible in warm air. It drifts through windows, along streets, over fields, until it finds a green leaf waiting to receive it. No thanks needed. No transaction. It's acceptance. The forest is the planet's lung, but it is not a machine. It is a collection of patient lives, each doing its small part. A single leaf opens its pores, takes in your carbon dioxide, and uses light to transform it. Photosynthesis. A gentle alchemy. Light strikes chlorophyll, sparking reactions older than animals, older than flowers. Your carbon binds with water to form sugar, a small packet of stored sunlight. Ready to feed the tree, your breath becomes wood. It strengthens trunks that will stand for centuries. It stretches branches out to catch more light. It forms roots that grip soil and hold entire hillsides in place. It becomes fruit that feeds birds, leaves that shade deer, needles that shelter owls, all from the breath gave without thinking. Your carbon is patient now. It rests inside a ring of wood, recording the year it joined the tree. If you could cut through the trunk, you'd see it, there one line among many, marking wet seasons and dry, harsh winters and gentle springs. The forest remembers everything it takes. It holds your breath for years, even centuries. Some trees stand for 1,000 years, cradling the carbon of ancestors, strangers, long vanished civilizations. Your breath may help build a seed that drifts on wind, planting new life far away. Or it may stay buried in roots, safe underground, against fire and frost. Imagine lying beneath the canopy, light dappling your closed eyelids. The forest breathes with you, oxygen in, carbon out, a mirrored rhythm. You are not apart from it. Your lungs are like leaves turned inside out, moist surfaces ready for exchange. You inhale the oxygen trees release. You exhale the carbon they crave. A slow, patient conversation. No rush, no dead. Just balance. Rest in that picture. The vast roots below you, interlaced in dark soil. They trade carbon with fungi in secret bargains. Mycorrhizal networks stretch for miles, linking tree to tree. Through them, older trees feed young saplings, or share warnings of drought and pest. Your carbon helps feed this hidden network. It moves silently from root to fungus, from fungus to another tree. A forest is not just trees, it is a community, woven together by the carbon you help supply. Imagine this generosity. Your smallest act, breathing, sustains something vast and connected. Breathe again. Feel the forest respond, not with words, but with growth, with green, with shade. Your carbon becomes part of needles that endure icy winters, part of broad leaves that flutter in summer winds. When those leaves fall, they do not vanish. They blanket the ground in color, decay gently in rain, and release carbon back to soil. Microbes and worms break them down, turning your carbon into fertile humus. Nothing is lost. What was leaf becomes soil. What was soil becomes root. What was root becomes trunk. The cycle turns endlessly, without judgment. Even fire is part of this renewal. A lightning strike ignites dry grass. Flames sweep through, crackling, hot, frightening. A fire releases stored carbon back to air, making room for seeds that need heat to germinate. Ash fertilizes soil. The forest grows back, younger, hungrier for carbon. Your breath, released in a quiet room tonight, may one day feed such a fire. And that is not wrong. Height is part of the balance. In, out, there is no blame in this exchange. Only movement. Imagine ancient forest giant sequoias with bark thick against flames. They have seen hundreds of fires, each one a threat, but also a promise of renewal. They stand because they adapted to this rhythm, accepting destruction as part of life. Your carbon becomes part of that resilience. It may rest in rings of wood that will survive storms, may strengthen roots that hold cliffs in place. It may shelter generations of creatures you'll never see. You are giving that gift now simply by breathing. Picture a forest floor in quiet dawn. Mist curls between trunks. The air is cool and damp, rich with the scent of soil and fallen leaves. This is where your carbon will wait. It doesn't rush. Even in decay, there is patience. Spread filaments through rotting wood, releasing enzymes that break bonds apart. Bacteria feed on what's left, passing nutrients along the chain of life. Tiny insects chew, digest, transform. Your carbon moves cell by cell, step by step. What was once part of you becomes part of everything. There is comfort in this anonymity. You are not lost. You are shared. Lie deeper now in your mind. Let your body feel as heavy as old soil. Your muscles soften like damp humus. Your thoughts settle like silt in a quiet pond. Trust in the process that needs no guidance. No one directs the roots where to grow. No one orders microbes to work. The forest knows how to use what you give. You are not burdening it. You are feeding it in, out, dot. Feel how natural that is. Your breath becomes tree. Tree becomes breath. Your carbon circles the globe in green. Even in sleep, you are part of the promise of growth. When you wake, the forest will still be working. Leaves will still open to light. Roots will still search in darkness. The quiet conversation will go on without you, but because of you. One day, the tree that holds your carbon will fall. Perhaps in a storm or under its own weight. It will not die in vain. Its wood will house beetles, then fungi. Its carbon will return to air and earth and life again. Even the longest breath finds its way back to the beginning. You may not see this journey. You may not trace the molecule you exhale tonight as it weaves through soil, root, and ring. You can trust that it moves with care. Forests forget nothing. They remember the breath of dinosaurs and mammoths. They remember the fires of long-ago lightning and the cool, wet summers of another age. They will remember your breath too, in the way a root remembers where water once was. Your gift tonight becomes part of this memory, and that is enough. Let yourself rest now. Let your bones feel old as wood. Let your breath fall into rhythm with the canopy above you. The forest does not need anything more from you than what you already give. Sleep, knowing your carbon helps hold the world together. Sleep, knowing the forest grows because you are here. And when you dream, let it be under branches in green light, with your breath rising slowly from moss to leaf, from leaf to sky, from sky to seed and back again. Chapter 7. Frozen fire, carbon locked in ice. Close your eyes. Feel the chill of ancient ice against your imagination. The world grows quiet here. It's muffled under a blanket of frozen time. You lie on this ice in your mind, safe, weightless, listening to its deep silence. Your breath slows. In, out, a soft plume of vapor in cold air. Even here, your exhalation carries carbon, drifting invisibly into the sky before settling onto snow. Sinking with flakes that layer year upon year. Imagine your carbon falling with the snow, caught in crystals that sparkle like stars fallen too. Earth.snow compacts under its own weight, year after year. Flakes fuse, air is trapped in bubbles, and the layers become ice. In that ice, memory is locked away. Your breath becomes part of history. The ice remembers. It holds ancient air in tiny, sealed chambers. Bubbles trapped in glacial ice carry the atmosphere of long-lost ages' breaths, exhaled by mammoths, by early humans, huddled by fire, by forests that covered lands now barren. Imagine lying on a glacier that holds 100,000 years of breath. Your carbon joins this slow archive, layered in silence. Asterisk, breathe again. Feel the air so cold it burns, yet soothing in its purity. Your exhaled carbon doesn't vanish here. It drifts downward, caught in falling snow, pressed slowly into ice. Nothing moves quickly in this frozen world. Glaciers are slow rivers of solid water. They grind rock into powder, carve valleys, shape mountains. They hold carbon like a promise kept for the future. Imagine your carbon resting in ice for millennia, locked away, unable to feed plants or warm the air. A pause in the cycle. The Earth does this on purpose. It balances excess with storage, tucking carbon away during cold ages, releasing it slowly as ice retreats. You lie here listening to the groaning of ice as it creeps forward. It is not lifeless. Beneath the glacier, water flows in dark channels. Microbes survive in the cold, feeding slowly on trapped carbon, exchanging it at a pace so slow it feels eternal. Your carbon may feed them and may wait with them for thousands of years. Rest in that patience. You don't have to rush tonight. Your breath can join this cold slumber, knowing it will be used even if the wait is long. Imagine now the end of an ice age. The world warms. The great frozen sheets groan and crack. Meltwater pouring off their sides in roaring rivers. Your carbon is freed. What was locked in ice escapes back into the air. Ancient breath rejoins the atmosphere, feeding plants hungry after long cold. Forests spread, grasslands flourish, animals roam where once only ice ruled. Your carbon fuels this greening. Breathe in, out. Feel how even release can be gentle. The world knows how to absorb what melts. Plants drink the new carbon, growing faster in the warming air. Soil thickens. Life explodes in color and song. You are part of this old rhythm. Even in modern times, ice still holds carbon. Permafrost traps vast stores of frozen organic matter, plants and animals that died long ago. As climate warms, this frozen fire begins to thaw, releasing its carbon to the air. It is a reminder that nothing is ever truly buried. Forever, rest in this truth. Your exhale tonight may travel north, caught in winds that circle the globe, brushing over frozen tundra. It may someday become part of mosses growing in brief Arctic summers. It will join the cycle, whether in ice or air or green dot, and all of it is natural. Lie even more still now. Let your body feel heavy, as if settling into cold earth. Imagine you are part of this vast store of frozen memory. Your carbon is patient. It can wait centuries for its turn. Picture snow falling softly year after year, each layer pressing the one below tighter. Your breath is part of these layers, not gone. Preserved. Ice cores, drilled by scientists today, revealed this ancient breath. They studied the trapped bubbles to learn our past, to see how carbon has risen and fallen. Your carbon will tell a future scientist about this moment. You are leaving a message in ice, not with words, but with breath. Even now, glaciers melt faster than before. Your carbon may be released sooner than expected. It may feed a moss that grips rock in a newly exposed valley. It may become part of a birch tree at the edge of a retreating glacier. Nothing is wasted. Even change holds promise. Breathe slowly, in, out. Feel the cold become comfort. It is not punishment. It is preservation. The world's way of keeping excess safe until life is ready to use it again. You don't need to hold anything back. Your breath tonight will join this plan, whether it rests for 1,000 years or feeds a leaf by morning. Trust the ice to hold it until it's needed. Now, picture the vast ice sheets of Antarctica and Greenland, gleaming under pale sun. They seem motionless, eternal, cool, but inside, they flow slow rivers of frozen time. Your carbon may travel with them, pressed deeper, older, colder. It will wait in silence that has no hurry, and one day it will find release, perhaps through meltwater, seeping into ocean currents. Cold water absorbs more carbon, drawing it down into deep sea layers. Your breath may circulate for centuries in these abyssal currents before rising again. Ice, ocean, aerol, trade carbon in patient cycles. You do not need to manage this. You can simply breathe. Feel your lungs soften, your thoughts slow. The ice knows its work. When glaciers advance, they lock away carbon, cooling the world. When they retreat, they release it, feeding green life. This ebb and flow is the Earth's way of balancing warmth and chill. You are part of that balance. Even if tonight you lie warm in a bed far from polar cold, your breath may travel to those frozen lands. It may rest in permafrost, in glacier, in snowdrift, preserved for a future you will never see. It is a gift to that future you are not taking from the world. You are offering. Imagine lying so still that you can feel the cold seeping into your bones, not with discomfort, but with clarity. Cold slows everything. It preserves. It remembers. Your breath tonight holds the warmth of your life. When it meets the ice, that heat fades. The carbon remains, waiting. This is not death. It is rest. The Earth uses ice as its ledger, a way to hold excess safely, to pause the cycle when balance demands it. In ages past, glaciers spread when carbon fell. Forests shrank, oceans cooled, but it was not forever. Warmth returned, ice melted, forests advanced, life reclaimed the carbon, held in waiting. This is how the world breathes over long time, in and out. Your carbon tonight may drift north, fall as snow, and become part of this frozen breath. Or it may settle in soil, feed roots, or swirl in ocean currents. You don't get to choose, and you don't have to. The planet knows what to do with what you give. You are not separate from these cycles. You are a partner in them, even in sleep, especially in sleep. Let your body go heavy now. Your arms sink like stones in cold riverbeds. Your breath slows to match the hush of drifting snow. Trust the ice to keep your offering. It will return it. When the world needs it, your breath is not lost. It is simply waiting. Chapter 8. Ancient bones, carbon in stone and fossil. Asterisk, close your eyes. Let your body grow heavy as rock, sinking in your imagination to the earth below. Feel cool stone cradling you. This is older than forests, older than rivers, older than memory. Your breath tonight carries carbon that once belonged to creatures long gone. Dinosaurs breathed it. Ferns from ancient swamps drank it. It cycled through insects trapped in amber, fish in warm seas that no longer exist. Breathe in, breathe out. Your exhalation is not wasted. It is part of that lineage. Imagine your carbon drifting into air, joining molecules that have circled the globe countless times. Carried by wind, it may settle onto a rocky plain, seep into cracks, dissolve in water that trickles underground. There, it begins its slow journey into stone. Picture rain falling on bare rock. Your carbon dissolves in water as a gentle acid, etching minerals slowly, carrying carbon deeper underground. In caves, it forms stalactites, slow drips building crystal spires over centuries. Your breath can become stone, limestone cliffs, or monuments to ancient carbon. They hold the shells of tiny sea creatures pressed into rock, layer upon layer, recording oceans that rose and fell before humans ever stood. Your carbon may join them. It may settle in ocean sediments, mixed with the skeletons of plankton, pressed by time and weight. These layers harden. What was soft, life becomes fossil, locked in strata that will one day be mountains. You are not separate from this. Breathe in, breathe out. Imagine lying on the ancient seabed, feeling layers of silt bury you gently. Each grain carries memory of light, caught in green cells, of breath exchanged between prey and predator, of tides moving under pale moons. Your carbon becomes part of this slow burial. There is no hurry here. Stone moves at the pace of continents. Your carbon waits, held safe in mineral bonds. It becomes part of fossils that whisper of lost worlds. Imagine ammonites with spiraled shells turned to marble, their chambers filled with crystal. Your carbon might fill those spaces. It may become part of the spiral itself, a record of seas long vanished, or it may lie in the bones of creatures buried in mud, bones that will fossilize over millions of years. Your carbon can become memory, not in words, but in shape, in curve of rib, in socket of joint, in the hard truth of rock. Even in darkness, the transformation continues. Pressure rises, temperature warms, chemical bonds rearrange. What was once bone or shell or plant matter becomes rock, lignite, peat, coal. Your carbon may help form these ancient fuels, packed with the energy of old sunlight. Rest in that idea. You don't need to rush it. The earth knows how to hold your breath for ages. Breathe again. Feel the heaviness of stone, the comfort of being held in the earth's deep embrace. Your carbon is not lost. It is stored, preserved, waiting. Coal seams lie buried under forests, holding carbon drawn down when the world was hotter, wetter, green, with giant ferns and towering horsetails. Your carbon might join such a seam someday. It will rest in dark silence, waiting for its time. It may stay there for millions of years, until Earth's crust shifts, till rivers cut valleys exposing black layers, until humans dig and burn, releasing ancient breath back to sky. Not all releases are gentle, but even then, the cycle continues. What was once locked returns to air, feeds plants again, creates the world anew. Nothing is wasted. In, out, your breath. Tonight may someday be burned in a distant fire, lighting a lamp, warming a home. Or it may remain deep in stone forever. Quiet promise Earth keeps in reserve. Let that possibility soothe you. Imagine fossils embedded in cliff faces, exposed by wind and rain. Each is a testament to life that breathed, that ate, that lived, and died and became part of stone. Your carbon can become that record, not lost, but transformed. A message in mineral scientists split rocks and find imprints of leaves, feathers, shells. These marks hold carbon, tell stories of ancient climates, lost species, shifting continents. Your exhalation tonight carries the potential to join this archive. Rest in that permanence. Stone does not hurry. It remembers what it holds. Lie even more still. Let your thoughts slow to the pace of erosion. Raindrops carve canyons over eons. Rivers move mountains, grain by grain. Your carbon moves too. At this pace, trust in slowness. You don't need to know the path your breath will take, whether it feeds a leaf tomorrow or becomes coal for millennia, whether it returns to air and fire or lies hidden in fossil memory. The cycle will use it all. The earth is full of memory. Your carbon joins those memories not as a burden, but as a thread in something vast and enduring. You may never know what. Part of your breath becomes stone. You may never see the fossil it forms or the ridge it helps uplift. But that doesn't matter. You are not meant to control the outcome, only to contribute. Sleep comes easier when you understand this. You are part of a cycle that forgets nothing, that turns breath to body, body to soil, soil to stone, stone to air. Again and again. Even now, you rest in a world held together by the bones of ancient creatures. The hills and cliffs around you are sculpted from life that once breathed, moved, sang. You are made of them, and your breath will return to that great chorus. So lie still. Like gravity, press you gently into the imagined earth. Let your body become as quiet as fossils, your breath as steady as tectonic drift. There is no need to move quickly. There is no need to do anything but breathe in, out. Your exhale is ancient. Your carbon is sacred. Your place in the cycle is assured. Sleep, knowing that one day your breath may become part of the land itself. A quiet message from this moment, carved into stone. Chapter 9. The breath beneath cities, carbon in modern life. Close your eyes. Feel the hum beneath you, the quiet pulse of pipes and wires, traffic and footsteps. Even here, in crowded streets and bright lights, you're part of the earth's breath. You lie still in your room, but your breath travels beyond walls. It seeps through vents, joins the city air. Your carbon drifts among neon signs and glass towers, among engines idling at red lights, among planes tracing white lines across the sky. This is not a forest, but it is alive. Breathe in, breathe out. Your exhalation mixes with millions of others. People laughing, sighing, crying, working through long nights. Each breath carries carbon pulled from food grown in distant fields, from grains and fruits that drank in sunlight. Your carbon remembers that sun. It was caught by leaves, turned into sugar, eaten, digested, burned in your cells. You are powered by ancient light. Asterisk. Now that light becomes motion. Your breath, your warmth, your voice. And when you exhale, the carbon returns out into the city air, carried by breezes between buildings, swept down subway tunnels, lifted by exhaust fans to the sky. The city breathes in its own way, not with leaves, but with steel and glass, with motion, with fuel. Fossil carbon powers its heart. Imagine your breath joining carbon from coal once buried beneath mountain forests, now burned to light a street lamp. Carbon from ancient plankton turned oil, now released through a passing car's tailpipe. The city runs on the breath of the past. You walk on pavement laid by fire. You ride buses pushed forward by dead oceans. In your own breath joins this stream. Rest in this strange truth. Even here, even now, your smallest act is part of the great exchange. You are not separate from nature just because you live above it. You are its continuation, its echo. Asterisk. Breathe slowly. Feel your lungs fill with city air. Oxygen given by forests far away, by algae drifting in ocean currents. Air scrubbed by parks, by rooftop gardens, by weeds pushing through cracked sidewalks. Even the smallest green canes work to balance what the city releases. Your carbon moves among all of this. It feeds plants in window boxes, trees lining boulevards, grass reclaiming empty lots, ivy climbing brick walls. The city forgets sometimes that it is alive, but your breath remembers. Imagine your exhale drifting upward, caught in thermal currents, rising above skyscrapers. Light joins a haze of millions of other breaths, of combustion, of industry. Yet the wind does not judge, carries all of it away, disperses it, mixes it with air over fields and oceans. Your carbon might settle on a forest hundreds of miles away. It might dissolve in a raindrop and fall on farmland. It might swirl in clouds before returning to earth. Nothing is wasted. Asterisk. Picture storm drains and gutters carrying rain through the city. Water seeps into soil, into rivers, flowing to seas. Your carbon rides along, dissolved, unhurried. It moves through treatment plants, wetlands, estuaries. It nourishes reeds at river mouths, mangroves at tidal edges. Even urban runoff feeds life. Your breath, leased in a tiny apartment, becomes part of this vast circulation. In, out. The city tries to hold the wild at bay, paved surfaces, straight channels, walls against floods. but the wild seeps back in. Roots crack sidewalks. Birds nest under eaves. Chaos prowl alleyways at dusk. Your carbon helps them all. It is not tainted simply because it passes through kerosene and furnaces. Once released, it rejoins the world's great economy of exchange. Leaves do not ask if carbon was clean when it left you. They simply take it. Asterisk, breathe again. Feel your chest rise and fall, matching the city's own pulse. Listen for it in your mind. Murmur of traffic like distant surf. Okay. The hiss of radiators like wind through branches. Okay. The thud of footsteps on stairs like roots pushing into earth. Even here, there is a kind of nature. Your carbon cycles through human life, just as it cycles through soil and forest. It feeds crops in fields beyond city limits. Those crops are harvested, transported, sold in corner stores. You eat them. You breathe. The cycle continues. Your breath tonight may become part of a tomato ripening in a rooftop garden, part of a tree planted to shade a playground, part of grass growing in the crack of a curb. There is no absolute division between city and nature. The same elements flow through both. Rest in that thought. Your carbon is not lost in the city. It is transformed. Asterisk, imagine the hidden spaces of the city. Basements, cool and damp. Underground train tunnels, breathing stale air. Sewers alive with bacteria that break down waste, releasing gases that rise back into the atmosphere. Your carbon might end up there too. It may feed microbes in dark water. It may fuel moss growing on brick walls in shadow. Nothing is wasted. Even the landfill at the city's edge is a laboratory of slow change. Buried scraps decay, releasing carbon dioxide and methane. The breath of discarded things. Your carbon joins that breath. It escapes into sky, drifts with weather, becomes part of wind sweeping across plains. It may fall in snow on mountains or settle on oceans where plankton drink it in. This is not a punishment. It is proof of connection. You cannot live without leaving traces, but those traces feed what comes. Next, asterisk, breathe slowly now. Let the city's sounds fade in your mind until all you hear is your own breath in, out. Your lungs are small forests, branching bronchi like trees in miniature, exchanging gases with the world. You may live surrounded by concrete, but you are still nature. Your breath is not separate from cycles outside city limits. It mingles with industrial stacks, with exhaust, the breath of animals in hidden corners. And somewhere, green waits for it. Somewhere, leaf opens a pore to drink in your carbon. It doesn't care how far you live from a forest. It only knows. It needs you. Let that bring peace. Your smallest act, breathing, is partnership with the world. Even if you never leave the city, you are part of the balance. You feed the life that will feed you. So lie back now. Let the city outside fade to a distant hum. Feel your body grow heavy against the bed, grounded even many floors above the earth. Your breath slows in, out. You do not have to control where your carbon goes next. It will travel through tunnels of wind between buildings. It will swirl with the warmth rising from streetlights. It will ride currents over fields and rivers, dissolve in rain, settle on leaves. Some of it will sink to soil. Some will be stored in roots. Some will wait in ocean depths. It will become part of green life once more. Part of fruit, part of wood, part of the air someone else breathes in another time, another place. You are not apart from this. You are essential to it. There is no shame in your breath. It is not waste. It is a promise given freely to the world. So sleep. Now, let your breathing find its quiet rhythm. Trust that even here, among glass and concrete, you belong to the earth's great cycle. Your breath will help green things grow. It will be remembered in roots, in leaves, in life, and in the hush of the night city. You can rest knowing you are part of something vast, patient, and kind.